is rather remarkable how South African politician Julius Malema redeemed himself from political ruins to building a major national party from scratch in just a matter of 5 years. Yep, it's no longer up for debate whether his EFF is a major South African party or not, because it is. It's now playing toe-to-toe with the big boys like ANC and DA now. I have to be honest, I thought it was over for him when that debt in ANC scandal broke out back in 2012 when he was kicked out of the party.
And their newspaper reported that we were going to be expelled, and it became the reality.
But as time told, it was just the opening of a new and much more compelling chapter for Juju and even South African politics as a whole. No one can deny this guy has added a certain grain of salt and flavor to the parliamentary proceedings.
We heard from our colleagues. Let's have a listen. It looks like it's Julius Malema. You've got to love Julius Malema and his antics.
As someone who almost single-handedly constructed a major opposing party, it's only reasonable to wonder, how the hell did he pull that off? Well, maybe it's the way he says country.
Of a country.
Countries of countries is by helping them in their own country.
Or maybe those other things he does when he speaks that leave a lasting impression to many of those who have the incredible experience of encountering him.
Which is correct.
I wish I assaulted him. Now that it's a real issue. I wish I did a real thing, proper. I regret not doing it. I should have done it so that I deal with real stuff. Me, I'm not scared. But uniform or no uniform, Afrikaner or no Afrikaner, white or pink, I deal with you decisively. Thank you.
So let us give him a proper analysis in this latest Mimsy special edition that presents the Malema-isms of Oratory leadership class, where we will break down his explosive style of speaking and some of the reasons why we think this guy made it to become one of the most influential leaders not only in South Africa but sub-Saharan Africa by the power of speaking. On Law 6, which is caught attention at all costs, of the bestseller The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene writes,
"Never let yourself get lost in the crowd, then or buried in oblivion. Stand out, be conspicuous at all costs. Make yourself a magnet of all by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious than the blood, timid masses."
Now the reason I'm referring to this law is because his behavior often revolves around its concepts. Just watch the video to see what I mean. Number 1. If crossed, confront, and confront immediately. If Malema has an issue with you, don't worry about silent grudges then. He is the kind of guy who lets you know.
Let them stay.
No, Chair. I don't agree with that. No, I don't agree with that.
Honorable Malema.
You are not going to tell me, Chair, how I must debate.
Order, Chair.
So please put that proposal on the table and then let's discuss it. And if they need a right, you can't say because there is a rule here. We work according to the rules. Speaker.
Forgive me for this tired cliche, but he speaks as if there is no tomorrow. Malema speaks as if to both love and thrive in confrontational settings, no matter how big the opposition may seem.
So the question we're asking today, and we are not going to leave here before we get an answer, is when are you paying the money?
In fact, the bigger the opposition, the more obnoxious he seems.
You are a man of tradition, Mr. President, a tradition of empty promises. Now knowing you will not be there in 2030, please say nothing about 2030 because you will not be there.
Obviously, when you get on the offensive, the people are gonna get offended, and mine, he has stepped on many toes, alright? But Malema doesn't care, even if they have any grievances. Yes, they can even howl if they want to.
These howlers can howl, there's nothing they can do. You are a group of howlers. The voters have rejected you.
His bold attacks on other powerful political leaders have garnered a lot of negative attention from the media, but many people do say,
listen, there is no such thing as bad publicity.
That is true, considering that it is also this confrontational style that allowed him to draw public attention when he formed a new political party. The Red, the Bad, and the Forever Mad Economic Freedom Fighters! In many times like these, no matter how controversial, there is one powerful leadership quality he always exhibits, which is courage. This is what I believe is his defining quality, a quality that radiates towards the other EFF members because most of them carry this unapologetic spirit of rebellion about them. He never backs down in front of a challenge, therefore in the eyes of his newly found EFF supporters, he became the guy who would speak their minds if they had any issues with the surrounding government. Number 2. Avoid ambiguity. If you're pissed, you're pissed. Politicians are known for their ambiguity. They sort of suggest things instead of closing down clearly on a point, so as cute journalists and citizens out there can run around in circles trying to decode these messages. Even if they are truly offended, they rarely make it clear. An excellent example of leaders who practice this restrained style of politics is former US President Barack Obama.
Mitt Romney has criticized you on Iran and said hope is not a foreign policy. He also said that you are America's most feckless president since Carter. Yeah. What would you like to say to Mr. Romney?
Good luck tonight.
No, really.
Really?
Well, Malema is different. Like really different.
That was being attacked. It's the law. You are unreasonable. It's the law. No, there's no law. That's a nonsense law. That's a nonsense law. That's a nonsense law. No law. There's no law like that.
As I say, this guy is an open book. He really leaves anything to the imagination. He really does not believe in subtlety and appears to always be itching for a fight because he's just he's just that kind of guy who doesn't take crap from anyone.
I don't know.
I've not recognized
But
you.
this thing of pointing us with fingers, what do you call that?
Honorable member.
Why do you point me with
Honorable
the finger?
member, take.
Well, at least he says that's the work of trying to figure out what's going on through his mind, like Barack does. Number 3, speak your mind, everything else doesn't matter. Despite all the disciplinary measures that have been slapped on his head because of his very big mouth, and there sure have been many, you would think he would slow down with his rash opinions. But that would also mean you don't know Julius.
It depends on the stability of a country.
How do you reassure the foreign investors?
No, you must give me a chance to speak. Unless you want to have this interview with yourself, then we can give you a chance to speak alone.
Okay.
Because
you should just ask about the headaches he has caused to those parliamentary speakers such as Baleka Mbete, who have had the unfortunate task of governing a parliament he is participating in when he has something to say. He violates parliamentary proceedings like all the time. So much so, you would think that his second name is Point of Order. Get it? Point of order.
Zuma. Point of order. The voters have rejected Zuma. The voters are saying to you, the voters have whispered and said to you, you cannot continue the way you continue it.
Order, Chair.
Point of order, Chair.
Honorable Malema, there's a point of order. Yeah. Yes, Honorable Malema, what is your point of order?
Point of order, Chair.
Order, Chair.
Point of order, Chair. Are you
Speaker, point of order.
These things of point of order are the ones that you are hiding behind. Ne? You are very good at that because every time reports are brought here, it's point of order, point of order.
The more you try to publicly silence his opinion, the more he'll probably force it down your throat. With Malema, the world itself can stop revolving until he finishes what he has to say. The most effective method they have found in dealing with him is to turn off his mic, because he sure doesn't back down.
Scared of him.
Honorable Malema, you can't come and scream in the house, and I am now going to switch off your mic.
I mean, why would you hide your insults just because you're being broadcast on live national television? I mean, Who does that, right? In Shona, we say, Aningweawe chaunga. He is the spirit of the crowd, which means the bigger the crowd, the bolder, louder, and the more defiant he becomes. Number 4, be loud and unapologetic with your beliefs. It's a little inaccurate to say Malema speaks in a sense. I think the better term is he bellows out words. He speaks like from the stomach, the gut. In the Middle East, speaking loudly is actually considered to be a sign of respect. Well, in that regard, he, wink wink, is just simply a man who respects everyone he addresses.
Hey, but how do I apply a match when I'm being attacked? How do I apply for a match when I'm being attacked? I'm being attacked now. What are you talking about? I'm being attacked now, and we are not doing anything about it.
Especially Baleka Mbete. He sure respects her.
Honorable Speaker.
Because you have no right to come and shout in the house.
But listen to me.
Honorable Malema,
but listen to me.
You can't come to the house and scream.
Once he bellows out these words, there is really no taking them back, no matter how rash his actions may seem. If there's one thing that Malema doesn't do, it's apologize in public. Malema only compensates his outlandish actions with more outlandish actions.
I'm not going to draw.
Morena.
It's not going to happen that.
Honorable Malema.
On a point of order here, the speaker said the ANC government massacred people 2 years ago. Is it parliamentary? Is there any proof of that? Can you rule on that, Chairperson?
Mr. Malema.
I maintain that.
Mr. Malema.
The ANC government massacred the people in Marikana.
Honorable Malema, withdraw the remark that the Deputy President's hands is full of blood.
I'm not going to do that. The Deputy President killed the people in Marikana.
Honorable Malema.
You have to literally drag him out of the building or to court or even throw down before he apologizes. And I'm only saying that because that has actually happened before.
Yeah. We see honorable members using their heads to harm others.
He is what he is. He believes what he believes. Reasonably, though, this behavior can be interpreted as being forthcoming, honest, and decisive, while the opposite of being quiet and reclusive may be considered being sly, weak, or deceitful. So I guess his EFF supporters agree with the former, because if you have nothing to hide or feel ashamed of, why can't you make sure that we hear you loud and clear? It only makes sense. Number 5. When criticizing hold no prisoners, go all out. If you're in the public sector, Julius Malema is definitely the last person you want to be criticizing you on an open field. Because if he does come for you, like that movie, there will be blood. He comes for blood.
And we are just cooperating with that unruly conduct of yours because we want this motion to go through. Honorable Chair, not only hypocrisy, charlatans, losers, all those things, you must check them because...
Order, honorable members.
What's the word I'm looking for? Demonize. Yes, he demonizes the other leaders. He always makes them look like they are devils who have never done anything right in their entire lives. He dwells and amplifies his target's past mistakes or alleged shortcomings, magnifying them for the public to see that they are just not worth their faith or trust. Funny enough, this is another law that can be traced back to Robert Greene's 48 laws of power of crush your enemy, hold him. Malema lacks complete respect when attacking other members of parliament. It is just complete savagery that tends to appear personal at times.
Exactly that. Your conduct has failed you to be a candidate for president because you are irrational, you are impatient, you are partisan. Even your own people have dumped you. After they told you you are their candidate, you went home to do umcimbi, telling ancestors you are going to be a president. After that, they dumped you because of this conduct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One such person who can testify to this verbal wrath is former corrupt President Jacob Zuma about his dirty and candleless sins. I mean, in this situation, Zuma was in fact the bad guy, but the way Malema went for him in these instances, he reduced him to such a level where you were like, okay, Julius, I know he stole a couple millions from the government to build a mansion and take care of his countless wives and children, including that new one who's almost like a quarter of his age, but still, a man can only take so much. He has had enough, man.
Honorable Speaker, we are committing a serious constitutional blunder by allowing the President to speak in this House.
Firstly, people every day say something about President Zuma in this country. Should I stand every day, take everybody to court? You say a lot of things about me. Should I do so? If I were
You
to
can
do
take
so,
me to court. You can,
He's
why must I
Malema.
listen to you when you don't tell Zuma to
If
leave
you
this
want
house?
to disrupt the
I'm
house,
not
Honorable
disrupting any
Malema,
house.
I'm not going to
I'm
allow
not going
you.
to disrupt any house. I'm not going to allow a criminal to speak in this house when you are doing nothing about this criminal. This man is collapsing our country.
I don't take actions against people like yourself, generally. I don't do it.
With all due respect, Mr. President, that is because you can't. I mean, the levels of disrespect reached a point where he was like, you know, we can't call you Mr. President anymore. We can't even call you by your real name. Because you're a criminal now.
We are going to leave this house because we are not prepared to listen to this criminal. But we'll wait outside. When the criminal finishes speaking, we are coming back to continue with the business of this parliament. We are just going to the loo because we are avoiding the criminal. We'll come back when the criminal is gone. Thank you.
Zuma must go to jail, prison.
In turn, it also makes him look like that righteous savior who keeps these more timid but hypocritical honorables in line. And it's not to say he doesn't do some of the other things he slams others for doing.
Honorable We're not scared of your violence. We're not scared of you. You must know that.
Honorable Malema, that pointing out at me is inappropriate. You're talking to us.
According to which law?
Honorable member.
According to which rule, yeah?
Well. Look who's pointing fingers now.
I don't know.
I've not recognized
but
you.
This thing of pointing us with fingers, what do you call that?
Honorable member.
Why do you point me with
Honorable member.
But when Malema locks on a target, he really locks to tear it down. Number 6. The race card. For Malema, if the opposing side happens to be white, the race card is always an option. I mean, why should you even bother to answer to the white man, right? What ground does he have to say what he wants to say? Is this even his native country? We have no time for answering your racist colonial lips. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to interpret his type of thinking. I'm just trying to interpret his angle, okay? There are many times you could have just answered an honest question, but most of those times he notices the involvement of the lighter skin before the question. And
you see, let me tell you, before you are chacharach, let me tell you, this is a building of a revolutionary party, and you know nothing about the revolution. So here you behave or else you jump, and you don't come here with that tendency. Don't come here with that white tendency. Not yet. Rubbish is what you have covered in that trouser. That is rubbish. That which you have covered in this trouser is rubbish. Okay? You are a small boy. You can't do anything.
I didn't come here to be...
Come out. Go out. Bastard. Go out.
Agbare speaker, is die agbare lid bereid om 'n vraag te vra? Is 'n baie maklike vraag. Ek wil vir hom vra, why does he deliver his speech in a white man's language of English, not in his own mother tongue?
Honorable Malema, are you prepared to respond to the question?
I have no time for racist questions.
It is no secret how he always puts the black man first. which sometimes may come off as being racist. I'm not sure he is, but at least he doesn't pull punches when he is slamming other black leaders who stepped over the line when he has to.
You're useless. Yes. You're useless. Thank you.
So I guess he's just an objective person, eh? Number 7, embody the passion of the people you represent.
How let me tell you about the story of my life. My mother was a Gishin girl. My father was a garden boy. That's why I'm a freedom fighter.
As a Pan-African economic freedom fighter who represents the impoverished black South African and even fellow African refugees, Malema is good at arguing for them. And unlike many members of the South African bourgeoisie, he also tries to physically project the anger or the emotion of the people he represents in parliament.
No, fine. You don't know what we went through. You tell us to apply when we are being killed. When our people are being killed. That's an irresponsible statement. We are not running. We are not marching. We are running to the police station.
We are not fighting against whites. We are fighting to sit on the dinner table. White people, you will no longer eat alone. We are coming to sit on the dinner table, and if you are refusing us on a dinner table, we are going to destroy that dinner table. No one is going to eat until all of us in South Africa eat from the same dinner table.
He does not act or sound like a vanguard leader too. That is why the EFF famously or infamously wears the red jumpsuits, helmets and gumboots, while the women wear Soweto black-made outfits to parliament instead of business suits. This is a symbol of how him and his party does not only represent them, but they are also involved with them in their everyday struggles. That's great leadership right there. Sympathizing with those you lead, feeling their pain, seeing the world through their eyes, breathing their air. As the EFF leader, we rather now see a passionate man who really believes in things that he advocates for. Conclusion. The rage he shows in most of his arguments. Earlier in his career with the ANC showed an emotionally volatile man who has said some things that were genuinely irresponsible. Because of his radical Pan-Africanism and this outlandish outspokenness, Malema, as I said, has been involved in a lot of controversy. But with a little more maturity and time, people have begun to warm up to him. I do believe he is still a little too radical at times to really be head of state, but I don't doubt having someone who is as bold as he is in the parliament is essential for every government, especially here in Africa, where homies just get out of, or at least try to get out of line like all the time. It's sad to say, with the high corruption levels in Africa, the written constitution is simply not enough. Even if the haters howl,
these howlers can howl, there's nothing they can do.
We will always need that vicious Red Bull who charges as soon as he sees a red flag. That guy who says those things those corrupt politicians don't want to hear, but really need to hear on our behalf. You know, for us, the little man, the voiceless people. This is the example that Malema sets, making this example not only essential to South African politics, but world politics in general. Thanks for watching, guys. Mimsi Africa.